Hi everybody, Mark Hunt here with an exciting update on Taylor's Wave construction. As you can see, it's coming along nicely. We'll get into a little more detail on that. We'll also dive into understanding a little bit about what paddlers and river users can expect as the project progresses. As we've covered before, the goal is to have a world-class river surfing wave right here on the French Broad in Woodfin, North Carolina. That involves building a perfectly shaped ledge across the river out of boulders and concrete. Construction is coming along nicely, and the main part of the ledge is quickly taking shape. If you take river flow volume like this, and you narrow it down and you spill it over a ledge like this, you end up with a pretty good surfing wave. As for next steps, there's still a bit more concrete work to do on this portion of the ledge. After that, the ledge structure will be extended to the shoreline, and then a terraced boulder wall will be built along the bank. Those steps will take a few more weeks, and once they are complete, this temporary cofferdam will be gathered up and rebuilt on the opposite side of the river so that the rest of the project, including the bypass channel fish passage, can be built. Everybody, I think you know that the town of Woodfin owns this project, is going to operate it as a regular free of charge town park. Woodfin deserves great appreciation for taking this on in the first place and now for seeing it through toward completion. Shannon Tuck is the town manager here in Woodfin. And Shannon, how are you feeling about where things stand now and how they seem to be going?
Yeah, we feel really good. It's been just really comforting and inspiring to see the momentum return to this project since Hurricane Helene. And we've been really pleased with the contractor's progress since restarting the project back in May.
Great. And as we talked about a couple minutes in the video, the cofferdam will soon move to the other side of the river. That will mean water flowing through the wave channel over the ledge structure, creating the turbulent wave. For upstream users, folks coming from upstream, are normal paddle boarders, fishermen, tubers maybe, etc. What is that going to mean in terms of passage downstream?
Yeah, so that's a really important question because while the first half of the structure will be complete and it'll have water flowing over it and through the wave channel, the second half of the structure will still be under construction. And that phase 2 work includes the wave bypass channel. So the wave bypass will not be available for river users just yet. So to keep everybody safe, we're asking that all folks exit the river and portage around the construction site. And to help guide people, we are going to install some markings in the river as well as post some signage prominently at our upstream park and along the river as individuals approach the construction area. So we would just like to ask everybody to please stay alert, pay attention to those markings and signage, and follow those directions closely. We just want to make sure that safety is a top priority right now.
And key to all this is that the wave is designed to be very turbulent. It is very likely to flip tubes, paddle boards, fishing boats, etc. So folks, please take that seriously. Shannon, a second area of question might be, what about people that are looking forward to surfing this wave? And people are really looking forward to that, I can promise you. With water flowing over the feature, there might be some appeal about looking into that. What do we want to say to would-be surfers?
Yeah. So we know there's a lot of excitement around the wave and maybe amongst some of our more experienced paddlers especially. But for now, we have to emphasize that the wave is not ready for surfing or paddling, that there could be some unknown hazards. We're going to possibly having to adjust the wave channel, so we could have construction equipment and materials in and around the channel at times. And the phase 2 work will have a new cofferdam that ties into the end of the completed portion of the structure. And where that tie-in occurs could create some hazards that even experienced paddlers should avoid. So we're asking everybody that regardless of your skill level to please be patient, to wait until the entire structure is complete, including the bypass channel, and let us test it, make sure it's working optimally, and that it is safe for public use. We promise it'll be worth the wait.
Sounds great, and I agree. I think it'll be worth the wait. And what I would emphasize here, folks, the town of Woodfin is providing incredible leadership. Our community is so lucky that this is coming around. So we've got to get together, do our best to work with the town of Woodfin and not be in the way of the contractor or anybody else or create concerns for law enforcement or emergency services. Yeah. That would be very disruptive. Shannon, one other area of interest might be for folks to come take a look. I mean, it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of interest in seeing what this thing looks like, because people have seen the construction and some of the concepts, but seeing it in real life is going to be interesting. What about opportunities to get a look at it?
Yeah, well, we completely understand the curiosity and temptation to want to come and take a look at it. But we do want to ask people to avoid coming to the construction site to view it in person. In addition to, as I mentioned before, this is an active construction area. So in addition to those personal safety concerns, we want to minimize any disruption to the construction. We're making really good progress right now, so we want to capitalize on this good weather and keep the momentum going. So as an alternative, we would recommend that folks check out the town's website at woodfin-nc.gov. We've got regular posts there. In addition, we're posting these videos, which is a great way to kind of see the chronicling of the park's progress. And we'll continue to post until the project is complete. So, and folks can also check out the town's Facebook page. We post these videos on the Facebook page as well. So if you sign up, it'll show up in your feed, and you'll get it right away as soon as it's available.
Right on, and of course I'm the one that kind of organizes these videos, and I promise I'll do my part to go out, get footage of the wave as it is formed, and it might not be perfect. Remember, there is some tuning or adjustment that is very likely to be occurring for the first several weeks or months. And the wave shape is likely to change with each of those adjustments, which is what we want. We want a little bit of adjustability. But it might also be distorted because of that cofferdam encroaching. I mean, we're literally talking about the wave sort of breaking onto the rocks at the edge of the cofferdam.
Yeah.
Thus the safety concern, but it also might distort how it looks a little bit. So be patient with how it looks at first, folks. It may take weeks or months to get it into its perfect form.
Yeah, it's not so dissimilar that where the cofferdam connects to the wave, it's not so dissimilar than like a jetty out in the ocean. You know that those are potential hazards and you want to avoid being around them. So yeah, we just want to make sure everybody stays safe.
Shannon, in terms of time frame and timeline for the build out of this project, what can we expect from here forward?
So things are going really well right now, and if we stay on track and the weather continues to cooperate, we expect that we could be complete with the wave, the structure, the in-river work by the end of the spring of 2026. And then onshore...
that's the entire... all the way across the river.
Yep, including the bypass channel.
Right.
Then we'll be concentrating on the onshore park work after that, and we think that all of that will be completed within the following 12 months.
By sometime in 2027.
Yeah, probably spring of 2027.
Okay.
That's our goal.
What else should we cover here?
I would just like to thank everybody for their patience, especially as we navigate the challenges that Hurricane Helene has presented us. We are really excited for people to be able to experience it firsthand, and we think it's going to be really special and a great asset to Western North Carolina. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank everybody who made this project possible. It's everybody from our funders, our construction and design teams, the community partners, our permitting agencies, the leadership of Woodfin, but especially our former leadership and the residents of Woodfin, because it was their vision and support that really got this project launched, and we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for them.
And that was in 2016, and for all the challenges and great things that have occurred in the life of this project, I will forever look back on the Woodfin Board of Aldermen, aka Town Council, that existed in 2016, being politically courageous, to stepping up to this ambitious, wild project. Mm-hmm. And so, and you and I say that to them every chance we get when we see those folks.
And the Woodfin voters who supported the bond referendum.
Absolutely. Yeah, but absolutely. So, Shannon, thanks so much. Stay tuned for another interview with Shannon once we get further along and sort out what's going to happen when.
All right. Thank you.
I know some viewers are curious about the details of design and construction, so let's dive into that just a little bit more. The effects of Hurricane Helene, of course, slowed the project down. Construction in the river restarted in May, and step one was to reshape the cofferdam and add a vinyl liner. The small amount of flow that does get through is being well handled with a system of drainage channels and pumps. Sedimented water is routed through a settling and filtration basin before returning to the river. With the work area dry by late May, construction in the riverbed began. In order for the ledge structure to be fixed and stable against the forces of major floods, it would need to be attached into the riverbed, sort of like a building relies on below ground footings for stability. In our case, that meant drilling and jackhammering the areas in the bedrock where the ledge would be placed. The granite of the French Broad is dense and hard, so excavation work took a few weeks. The good news is that it provides a very firm base for the structure. It's important to highlight here that all the work going on is organized in a way that does not harm wildlife, habitat, or the environment. Design and construction is tightly regulated by federal and state agencies. With bedrock excavation complete for this section, it was time to start building the ledge structure itself. That meant carefully selecting and placing boulders. And on the topic of boulders, the team at Hedrick Industries and their North Buncombe Quarry deserve a huge thanks here. This project requires about 7,400 tons of boulders, and they have to be just the right sizes and shapes. That's no easy task to get those here. Hedrick started selecting and stockpiling boulders for the WAVE project about 3 years ago. Additionally, the company has made an in-kind donation of boulders valued at about $280,000. That makes Hedrick the largest private sector donor to the project. A big shout out and much appreciation to Hedrick Industries. The design requires that the locations and dimensions of all surfaces of the ledge adhere to the design to within 1/10 of a foot. Our contractor, Baker Grading, uses sophisticated GPS instruments at the site and works very carefully to assure that. Those who watched episode 2 of this series saw that the design was thoroughly tested and refined through physical modeling in a hydraulics lab. Precision is vital to getting the best possible wave shape. Hey guys, meet Riley Adams. Riley is a civil engineer with S2O, our design contractor for the ledge structure. So Riley, talk a little bit about the shape of this ledge, why it's shaped the way it is, and what that means for paddling.
Yeah, so it's funny, we've been getting a lot of questions about what we're building here because it does look a little different. But basically what we're trying to do is channelize part of the river into the center of this structure. And so we have a little bit deeper, lower notch in the middle. So when the water's lower, it'll channelize into that notch. And then as the water level increases, it'll spread up and outward across the structure more. And what we try to do is have the center part be the steepest slope, so you have a little bit more power. And the idea is that lower flows, you can have more of a powerful pole feature breaking wave. And then as the water levels increase and it starts to spread across the structure, as you go outward, the slope across the ramp gets a little bit less and a little bit less. And the goal is so that you still have a good surf wave, but once you get really high flows, you don't create a low head dam situation where you're having a safety issue. So that's kind of the overall shape.
And Riley, how are you feeling about progress to date, how this is shaping up? I mean, today is a really big day with filling in some gaps with concrete. What do you think?
Yeah, so normally we do the whole structure in one placement of concrete, but because we're always worried about river levels coming up, especially starting to get into hurricane season, we want to try to like capture progress. And so we've done 3 concrete placements at this point. We've done the downstream cutoff wall, the upstream cutoff wall, and this was a big day because we're grouting the whole top of the structure, which ties the 2 walls together. and that's really where we start to get our ramp shape. So this is what's going to end up creating our wave feature.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. There are a couple of aspects of the design and the structure that will allow for tuning of the shape of the wave. One is the building of a concrete slab that will cover the center lowest area of the ledge here. It will have unistrut channel hardware embedded in it, and that will allow for the mounting and attachment of specially formed concrete blocks on that face. The physical modeling in the lab showed that having and being able to adjust these blocks can have a significant effect on wave shape. The other is including a concrete water control pad spanning the low and medium flow sections of the ledge on the upstream side, again with embedded unistrut channels. That could allow for adding blocks to increase the height of the upstream crest of the ledge structure if needed to enhance the wave shape. The aim is to use these adjustment opportunities in the few months after the water starts flowing to optimize the wave shape. Since temporary water diversion and construction equipment would be required, this is not about adjustments of any kind on an ongoing basis, just tuning during this construction phase. If you'd like to understand the project and its history a bit more, look up earlier episodes in the series on the YouTube channel for the town of Woodfin. They're also posted to my personal YouTube channel. And stay tuned to track the project going forward. You'll also find updates on the town of Woodfin's website and its Facebook page. Thanks for watching.